Jan Schakowsky reminded me of an important point that, in fact, we have not talked about enough, and that is the disability community. And we all stand with those people who are dealing with disabilities, and we're not going to see them. I want to thank all of the members of the Senate and the House for being here. Now I want to give the mic over to the Executive Director of the Alliance for Retired Americans, a guy who helped organize this event. Please welcome Ed Coyle.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Senator Sanders, and all the other leaders that have been here today for the leadership you're providing in these fights, and we are all behind you. My name is Ed Coyle, and I am the Executive Director of the Alliance for Retired Americans. On behalf of our 4 million members nationally and our 100 leaders who are in this room this afternoon, I want to tell everybody here that we're going to fight to the end to beat this Republican Congress and what they want to do to change CPI. Today, 100 leaders of state and local alliance chapters will fan out all over Capitol Hill when we're finished here. They'll urge lawmakers to support the Harkin-Sanders White House resolution in the Senate and the Cicilline resolution in the House, and they will say no to change CPI. Thank you to all the members who are here today and all the leadership that you provide, and for all your leadership on retiree issues. I thank all of you on behalf of our members nationally. Washington policy wonks have a cold, technical name for this idea. They call it chained CPI, hoping that people won't know what the hell it is. But struggling seniors call it something very different. They desperately need it, and they call it a cut.
That's right.
Call it what you want, members of Congress, but it is a cut. And our members across the country are going to tell you it's a cut everywhere you go in your state or in your congressional district. A study by the group Social Security Works shows that under this proposal, someone retiring at the age of 65 would lose nearly $5,000 in benefits by the age of 75 within 10 years. By age 85, as has been mentioned, they would lose almost $10,000. And if you're still alive when you're 95, you would lose $15,000. Now let's take this seriously. The average Social Security check is slightly more than $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month. For many retirees, this is their only source of income. That's it, $1,200 a month. And by average, you mean average is $1,200. For a lot of people, that means average is way below $1,200. So I can't imagine how folks can live on that, frankly. Fact of the matter is, many of them cannot. So not only is this proposed cut a terrible policy choice, but it also has no place in deficit reduction talks. The mere mention of it fuels the false and corrosive myth that Social Security causes the budget deficit. This is, to be polite, a flat-out lie.
That's right.
Social Security has never contributed one dime to the deficit, and if you want to check me out, just ask His Eminence Alan Simpson from Wyoming, who has said the exact same thing. Social Security does not contribute one dime to the deficit. Sometimes people forget the basic facts about Social Security and Medicare. They are not handouts. They are not handouts. They are benefits you've earned and which you paid for every month of your working life from day one on your job. We cannot allow workers and retirees to pay the price for a problem that, frankly, they did not create. Instead, we should ask big corporations and their CEOs to finally pay their fair share. Social Security gives today's workers hope that they will someday enjoy a safe and a secure retirement. That's all they're asking. We must support these Senate and House resolutions that these men and women up here are supporting. We must keep the promise of a strong Social Security alive for generations to come. We must stand our ground, and we must fight back. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the Alliance for Retired Americans. Well, those of us who are here in Washington sometimes maybe get too full of ourselves, and I'm constantly reminded that where this is really getting done is out in the field. And where this is really getting done is when you see faces of real people on TV or quoted in the paper who are affected by this. So 3 of our Alliance members who are here this week for our leadership conference are going to speak to you just briefly about personal situations that they find or would find themselves in if they were caught, if their Social Security was cut. So I want to introduce 3 of our Alliance members who are here, and if all 3 of you could come up now. Jody Weinrich is a retiree from Pennsylvania, worked in the garment industry, is now a member of the Alliance for Retired Americans board. Second is Marty Walsh from Glendale, Missouri, who worked in the insurance industry. And Marty Alvarado is a member of the Community Advocacy Network in Dallas, Texas, and she has worked in the electronics industry. So please greet them, and they are going to tell you just briefly how this would affect them. Remember their stories, because this is how we're going to get it done. It's not making speeches in Washington. So.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Jody Warnick, and I'm a member of the Alliance for Retired Americans. I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I am 63 years old. My whole life I have been an extremely hard-working person. I spent 40 years working in the garment industry. I worked as a floor lady and table worker, making undergarments, men's and women's clothes, and everything from textile. As you know, the American garment industry and textile industry has lost thousands of workers over the past 20 years. When I was 62, I began collecting Social Security. Currently, I receive a little over $800 a month in Social Security. Additionally, I have a pension of about $105 a month, and I work 10 hours a week. Every month, I spend $500 on health insurance, well over half of my monthly income. I barely have any money left to cover my other expenses. The biggest thing that gives me hope that is in a year and a half, when I turn 65, I will be eligible for Medicare. For me and millions of other Americans in similar circumstances, raising the age of Medicare to 67 would be a disaster. So would implementing the changed CPI. Seniors are already struggling to stay afloat with what we currently have available to us. We will not stand idly by while the benefits we have earned are taken away. Thank you.
Mark.
Good afternoon to all of you. Mi nombre es María Alvarado. Vengo a representar la Alianza de Americanos Jubilados. My name is María Alvarado, and I am here to represent the Alliance for Retired Americans from Dallas, Texas. I spent decades working for Texas Instruments and for Nortel. While I do have some retirement funds, I only withdraw a small amount every month. This makes Social Security very important to me. After Medicare deductions, I only have a little over $950 a month left of my Social Security check. As you might imagine, this is very difficult for me to live on. I can't afford to lose any of my benefits due to the chained CPI cut in benefits. This is especially important to me as a woman, especially a woman of color. Women represent 57% of all Social Security beneficiaries. Chained CPI would hit female beneficiaries especially hard because we tend to live longer. But we can stop the chained CPI if we band together and fight back. I'm proud to be here alongside all these members of Congress and my fellow retirees, letting those who are trying to cut our benefits know that we will not stand to see our already modest standard of living take a hit. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Marty Walsh. I'm from St. Louis, and I worked hard, dedicated at many professional designations in the insurance industry where I worked for almost 40 years. I worked hard, unfortunately due to the economy And due to some problems of companies, I had to change. I didn't job jump. I had to change. And as a result, I have very little in the way of a pension. I depend on Social Security. As Congressman Deutsch talked about, I'm going to have to find ways to cut back on the food that I eat, or buy cheaper things. I've already done that. And now they want to do it some more. When Congress, with their $1 trillion budgets, talks about minor adjustments, it is not that to me. It is more of a major adjustment. And I'd like to throw a word in, which no one else has done yet. I have some kids I love. And I have a grandson that I really love. Think, when they're talking about what it's going to do for us in 20 or 30 years, what it's going to do to them, who do not have some of the guaranteed benefit retirements that we have. Those are gone. And they are really going to suffer, and I would love to fight for my children and grandchildren. So this is a serious issue, not only for us, but for our families. Talking about cuts, I've been asked to notice the beautiful sculpture over here dedicated by our friends from Ohio, with a reminder that if we want to do some cutting, one place to cut is drug prices.
That's right.
I should have been in my living room, but they want Congress to have it. So, but it gives me hope, though, with all these fantastic people that we had here today who are fighting for us, and encourages me to fight for them, to see that we together, will get this job done and protect ourselves from this chain CPI. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Marty and Jody, for telling your stories here today. Remember those stories, and I know all of you have many stories of your own back in your states that you can relay to other people. This is not the only meeting you go to. You go to lots of other meetings, church groups, the Kiwanis Club, the Moose Lodge. This story has to be told outside of our own little circle here. So learn your own, tell your own, learn your neighbors' stories, and let's keep repeating them. And we have to also remember that this is not only about current retirees. This is about people who are going to retire in the next few years. I want to ask Tony German, who is a port truck driver from Charleston, South Carolina. He has got a unique story to tell us. We've invited him to do so, and keep him in mind too, and keep all the people back at home who are 2 or 3 years away from retirement, and tell them this story too. Tony?
My name is Tony German, and I'm speaking on behalf of the container truck drivers from Charleston, South Carolina. We haul freight for a steamship line called Maersk. Maersk Steamship Line have received over $6 billion in federal contracts over the past decade. Drivers like myself aren't seeing much of that $6 billion. In fact, we feel like sharecroppers on wheels. I make around $36,000 per year. My pay hasn't gone up in 13 years. The price of tires, oil, insurance, and fuel that we pay for is skyrocketing. A lot of us are near the retirement age. I'm 55 years old, but we have no retirement, no dental, or health plan. We're facing a retirement crisis.
It's horrible.
I'm 55 years old. I have earned my benefits. I'm barely hanging on as it is. I hear people say it is okay to cut my benefits because I am near the retirement at 55. I can tell you, we have a retirement crisis, and I cannot afford to have even a penny of my future benefits cut. Let me speak clearly. Hands off my benefits. Hands off our future benefits. Hands off all our benefits.
That's
Thank
right.
you.